Wait, what the 2 hours ago? Scott Bessent wants to get rid of the entire Federal Reserve? U.S. Secretary Scott Bessent has called for an inquiry into the entire Federal Reserve institution. Play it.
What we need to do is examine the entire Federal Reserve institution and whether they have been successful. There was fear-mongering over tariffs, and thus far, we have seen very little, if any, inflation.
They weren't fear-mongering, bro.
Inflation numbers.
Oh, I'm getting so annoyed with Scott Bessent. You know what Trump said? That I saw people in like the finance groups that I follow who are normally big Scott Bessent fans that were like talking about how embarrassing it was that he works for this nutso egoist. Look at this. The Wall Street Journal ran a typically untruthful story today by saying that the Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bessent, explained to me that firing Jerome Too Late Powell, the worst Federal Reserve chairman in history, would be bad for the market. Nobody had to explain that to me. I know better than anyone what's good for the market and what's good for the USA. If it weren't for me, the market wouldn't be at record highs right now. It probably would have crashed. So get your information correct. People don't explain to me, I explain to them. How crazy is it that the president can't even accept that somebody he hired to be an expert can explain something to him? The idea that he knows better than everybody he's hiring is insane. It's insanely narcissistic, insanely childish. He's your Secretary of the Treasury. He should explain to you that firing Jerome Powell will the market. By the way, it's crazy that a few months ago when the market was crashing, you were like, this is Joe Biden's market. This is Joe Biden's economy. And now that the market's doing better, it's all because of you. This is ridiculous. Anyway, they are both of them, Scott Bessent and Trump, are really trying to get Jerome Powell fired. It's crazy. They're trying to force out the supposedly independent chairman of the Federal Reserve so they can hard push down interest rates to try and keep this crackhead economy going a little while longer through the midterms. Trump's approval rating, not in response to this, but it's in general, hit a new his disapproval rating hit an all-time high. 54% disapprove, which is really not high enough disapproval, but it is a new high for the term. I also saw this, dude. Speaking of the deficit, this just says it all, huh? Red or blue, bro. Since Carter. Do you realize that before Carter, this was basically flat? People just ran balanced budgets. Outside of World War II, this isn't fair since Obama had GFC and Biden had COVID. Why would you say Biden had COVID and not Trump had COVID? They both had COVID. And everyone's got something. That's what I'll tell you. Everyone's got something. It's not biased. All of them are incapable of balancing a budget, except for Clinton. God bless him for that one thing. Why not just crank the debt up and outgrow it 10x? That's what they say. Do you know that it could actually work? If what you're spending the debt money on actually grows GDP, it could work. The problem is, for example, spending on the military or spending on healthcare bloat. All that stuff doesn't do that. It's just wasteful. Joe, spend it on blackjack, all or nothing, baby. That would have been better. That would have been better. If you'd have taken all the money for the war in Iraq and Afghanistan and spent it on blackjack, it would have been better. Dan's Muffin's got a great idea. What if we took some of these billions, trillions of dollars and spent it on nationwide high-speed internet infrastructure, fiber everywhere, truly upgrade and modernize the internet of America? That would have been incredible. That would have been a really useful use of money. Kind of like when presidents in earlier eras, I think the 1910s, did a global or a nationwide electrification campaign where they made sure everyone had access to electricity, no matter where you were. They hooked up power lines all over the country, and it was expensive, but it was worthwhile. And the economic growth from that was massive because it allowed people to build businesses in those areas. Or Eisenhower building highways. That's a nationwide project that actually works. It increases commerce. So it's a win-win. It pays for itself, essentially. Increased tax revenue because you have more businesses. But instead, we wasted it. We wasted it, and 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 we wasted it. And now the bill is due. You know, if you go to like Seoul, South Korea, the internet there is so fast and so cheap. We could have that. We actually have that in some American cities. Chattanooga. Is anyone from the Noog? Chattanooga is like one of the only American locations that got around the cable monopoly and was able to build their own high-speed internet. And it's incredible. They have incredibly fast high-speed internet there. And it like, let me just see. It's like a miracle what happened to their economy. Dude, in 2014, they had guaranteed gig internet for everybody. 1 gigabit per second for everybody. 50 times times faster than the US average. In 2014, they had that. And now money keeps flowing into Chattanooga. Chattanooga went from zero venture capital in 2009 to over 50 million in 2014, just after starting it. And the city only has 171,000 people. I mean, we could easily have better internet for everyone and cheaper. The city that was saved by the internet, Chattanooga in 2016. The first thing you see when you go to Chattanooga is a sign that says, "Welcome to Gig City." That's awesome. No, it's crazy. Chattanooga did this and it was so successful that lobbyists from like Spectrum went around to all these different small towns and got it written into their laws that they couldn't do the same thing. It's crazy. Thank God for lobbyists. Yeah, thank God. Thank God for lobbyists, bro. Chattanooga had Comcast before this, and when the fiber plan became public, Comcast and AT&T got furious. God, I hate Comcast and AT&T, bro. Lena Khan, please break up these monopolies. They sued the city? Yeah, they sued the city. They sued a bunch of cities. You live in Chattanooga, but your apartment has a contract with Xfinity? Yeah, but is your internet good? Because my understanding is in Chattanooga, the companies that still operate there, like Xfinity, have to offer better deals because you can just go somewhere else. Unless you're on like the edge of town. Yeah, it's so good, like regular, almost a gig down. They have to offer better deals because there's a competition. They sued Chattanooga 4 times and they finally won and they built it. That's so sick. What a good story. Do we have to let businesses sue our government? Or are we indirectly letting them sue us? Well, I think there's probably some situations where suing the government has been actually super beneficial. The government does overreach and has overstepped in cases. People have been able to sue the government to get money back on abuses, or if like suing the police would be like suing the government. There's definitely a situation where it works. I think a corporation suing the government to stop them from making internet high speed for people is bad. Hey, Big A, I've been a fan for a while. About that China trip with Lemonade Stand, do you guys have any idea where you want to go and what you guys are doing? Yeah, I do. The ideal trip for me in China would be 2 weeks long, like 10 to 14 days. And I would go to Beijing, Chengdu, Chongqing, Shanghai, and Hangzhou, and then Harbin, China. I would try to do like 2 days in a place and just keep going. That would be my dream. Why Harbin? I mean, I've always wanted to go to Harbin ever since I saw their ice festival. It's just cool. You know, so I think that'd be fun. I think that'd be a unique experience. You can find this in upstate New York. I don't think you can. I'm not saying there's not ice and snow up there, but I think a gigantic ice city is unique to Harbin. It's a thing they do. This is bigger and better, and now we got that in Chicago. You know what? I like Chicago. Actually, I'll say a controversial take. Chicago's just better New York. It's just cleaner, nicer, better New York. And the pizza's better. Haters can suck eggs. All right, I take it back. Actually, I'm back on New York side. Chicago pizza sucks ass. I'm pissing off both sides today. Chicago pizza sucks ass, and New York pizza is way better. Deep dish is not the GOAT. Deep dish is lasagna. That's not pizza. It's a soup. It's not good. You know what? Chicago's the better city, and New York has the better pizza. So if they could somehow merge their powers, new Chicago work. It's crazy how these people just want to eat tomato paste soup. It is crazy. There's people out there that could have had tasty pizza and said, nah, I prefer a big old bowl of tomato paste. It's good you put a light bit of it on top of a pizza. We can all agree that LA is worse than both NYC and Chicago. No, we can't agree with that. I'll tell you one thing. I was in New York very recently. Interviewed Lena Khan, no big deal. I don't know if I mentioned that once or twice. Muggy as shit. So sweaty. You're just walking down the street and you're sweating. It's hot and it's humid. Yuck. And then I go back to LA, 72. Sunny. It's sunny, but you're not sweating. It's the perfect weather. It's the perfect weather all the time. Summer, perfect weather. Winter, perfect weather. 72 sunny, year round. You can't overstate how hype it is. We pump the sewer air into the street in New York. Why are you saying this all caps like it is a defense? I'm saying it's too muggy and hot, and you're going, we pump the sewer air into the street. A-Shrek, you don't get it. It's the sewer. It's not a good thing. It's not, I don't want that. I don't want poop air washing over me on a hot day. It's not good for the skin. The only thing LA has is the weather. The city sucks. The only thing this robber has on me is a gun. That's not gonna let me take my stuff. There's a little bit of smog, but it's almost like smog is like it's the salt in the dish, you know, just a little bit, a little dash. It brings out the flavor, dude. You can't spell mog without smog. And LA is mogging other cities, dude. It's so nice sitting in gridlock an 85-degree day. First of all, not 85, bro. 72, sunny. I will say, you know, it's hard to defend LA's traffic. I'm gonna attempt to, but it's not easy. It's not an easy thing to defend. and it's not easy to defend. I was gonna say the rent prices, but compared to New York, LA is like it's free. I guess, listen, I lived in LA when I was trying to get a job in esports and hustling on the come up, and I hated it. I hated it. I was like, I'll never live in this goddamn city. So it might be a money thing. It might have something to do with the income. But actually, here's one thing I'll say. The thing that has made LA way better for me is not money so much as it is having a non-standard time job. If you are in LA and you can go somewhere during non-rush hour hours, suddenly the city has so much shit that's pretty cool. But if you have to drive between, like 9 to 5, if you drive at gridlock hours, you can't do anything. And I can just avoid that non-stop. Like, I don't care how much they paid me. If I had to do rush hour traffic every day, I'd probably blow my shit off smooth. Do you have like a daily commute? Yeah, definitely. Usually I'll hop in the old Honda Fit. I'll do a donut in my garage. And I'll commute between the bed and the chair, dude.